Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Power Network. I'm Amy. Today we're playing a fun little game I've coined Dingo. It's bingo with a twist based on this hidden true crime duo. Recently, we put out a video about Jodi Arias selling her art online and singing Oh Holy Night in a prison Christmas pageant. And like clockwork, Hidden True Crime pops up with a brand new Jodi Arias video. So I can't resist. We've got to do this. And I got this idea from J is for Justice. So we're going to break it down while we play Dingo because let's be honest, the duo can be a real snooze fest and we need something to keep us awake. So, and also somebody said, couldn't it really been a trio? Yeah, but then it would have been Tingo, and I like Dingo better, but it is what it is. So let's get into it. I'm rolling the intro while the algorithm brings in the rest of the Power crew. Shout out to my Power Replay crew and my Dragonflies. Love you, babies.
Carefully strumming his old guitar again. Words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I would steal them and fly away with you for a while. Hearing the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the
Here in the essence of gratitude, I am so happy to be here with my Power crew today. How's everyone doing? Happy Saturday, the Saturday before Turkey Day. You know, Thanksgiving is one of my most favorite holidays because there was always like no pressure. You just like showed up, got to eat some really good food with your family, you know, watch the holiday parade, and yeah, you didn't have to bring presents. Although I love doing the present thing. I love giving presents. I love getting presents. But anyway, so yes, are you all getting ready for Turkey Day if you're in the United States? Hi, baby girl. You're in Florida. I'm in Florida. New subscriber? Well, welcome, baby girl, 54782. It's so good to see you. Hi, B-Bong. Hello. Hello, Anderson Gustav. Hi, Carrie28. Hi, Kim. I know you're in here. Hi, Kitty Raz. So good to see everybody. Hi to everybody out there in the algorithm hanging out. So today I've told you what we're going to talk about. We're going to look at some of the Jodi Arias stuff. I just thought it was really interesting that I released it and then they're doing Jodi Arias stuff. But I'm very interested in the Jodi Arias stuff. So hopefully it's good. But while we're doing it, I got the idea to play a little game. I love going over to Everyday with Jay, and she does play bingo. But, you know, I was fighting with AI all morning trying to get this dang dingo card out. And then someone tells me, shouldn't it be a trio? And I'm like, dang it should have been Tingo. But anyway, we're doing dingo. And I like dingo a little extra because I taught the baby bird. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But do you remember, if you're a Gen Xer, you remember. I know you remember. But do you remember a dingo ate my baby? A dingo ate her baby. Well, I taught the baby bird a version of that for some weird reason. I'm weird. And so every morning, the baby bird wakes me up by saying she ate the baby. So, ate the baby. That's what I hear every morning because I was trying to teach him to say a dingo ate my baby. But anyway, we're playing dingo. We're playing dingo. And also, I want to say it's going to be a little bumpy because I am using StreamYard and Jay uses another platform. And on hers, she's able to add an extra screen and I can't. So you guys are going to have to help me keep track of this dingo because I can't just like display it on the screen like Jay can. So hopefully we do it. But if we don't, just like, you know, if you guys are good at remembering things, I'll pop it up on the screen here and there so that we can put the X's in. But instead of the X's, I'm going to put little eyeballs because I'm weird and I do everything a little bit different anyway. But so that's what we're going to do. And also I wanted to pop over onto the Reddit forum because I did see a new post up there. Well, let's do that first before we get into this because I saw some new tea. So I wanted to kind of share the new tea that I've seen. So we'll do the tea now because, you know, Crush is going to be on Turtle Boy and I've heard that it's going to be at 9 p.m. And so let's just do the new stuff that I heard and then we'll get into the dingo. Morning. Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see everyone in here. Good morning, Dragonfly. Hello, Carolina. I wish, you know, this is like, okay, so I am very close to making the leap from StreamYard over to a different streaming platform because I just want to be able to, like, I enjoy playing the games and doing the interactive stuff with Jay. So I'm just assuming that you guys like that kind of stuff too. And it's very hard to do that when you're on StreamYard, like I said, because it's so limiting. Plus, they've changed a lot of stuff lately. Like, I don't have my one button anymore. That has not come back, and that irritates me. So now would be the time. So I'm probably going to be doing some Dragonfly lives where it's just me clunking around trying to learn new systems. So that's what I'm going to be doing with my Dragonflies. And let me know what the Dragonflies, what you want me to go into. If you want me to just do more hidden true crime stuff, if you want me to do Watt stuff, if you want Boone stuff, if you want new stuff, paranormal, just let me know. And I'll, because I got to learn something new and make the change. It's time. Okay, so well, I heard tonight that Crusha is going to be on Turtle Boy's channel. Let me get my screen up there for you guys. And move myself around. And let's get that algorithm dance party that I like to do. Just warm up your fingers and dance them right up to the hearts and thumbs up button. Helps us go out into the algorithm and party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's really, really appreciated. So I had been hearing that Turtle Boy was going to interview Crusha, and I went over to her live and I don't see it set up yet, but I had heard that it's going to be at 9 p.m. I will keep an eye out for you guys, and as soon as I know what time for sure, Kim, my mod, had told me in a text that it's going to be 9 p.m. But as soon as I'm able to 100% verify, because over on Crusha's channel, Difficult Research, I don't see a live scheduled. But as soon as I know, I will put it over in the YouTube community section on Parawomen Radio, the Power Network. Yeah, oh, you know what? I can give you a link to the card. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I can do that because it's over on Canva, and I just need to make the link viewable to everyone. So hold on. I will do that. Thank you for saying that. All right. Let me make it viewable for everyone, and then I will share it. Man, I love you guys for, like, sometimes you just can't think past something, and then you get the answer. Okay, so here is the Dingo link. This will take you over to my Canva, and you'll be able to see it. And I think I have, if you can see the window, like the whole window, I have the googly eyes open for it too. This will be the Dingo card that we're going to be working off of over on Canva. So you should see that. Okay, guys, let's get into it. I wanted to go over first and read this over in the Hidden True Crime Reddit forum. I thought this was really interesting. A post on more Lauren nonsense. Lauren nonsense. All right, let me get myself there. All right, silence can be interpreted as support. I don't want to stay silent. Hi, everyone. Mindy Caldwell here. I have appeared several times on Mormon Stories podcast with John Dellon. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know how to say that last name. Lauren Matthias, Megan Connor, and Dr. John remotely. I'll start by saying that I deeply value my friendship with Dr. Dellon and would never speak for him on this issue or any other. John is a sincere guy with a big heart, and Margie Dellon is one of the warmest, most genuine souls I've ever known. I adore them both. I've spent many hours in the Mormon Stories studio with John, Lauren, and Megan. I care about all of them. We have worked hard in our collaborations, and I'm proud of the episodes we have released. A little backstory on my relationship with Lauren and HTC. I told my friend Dr. D years ago that I've been doing a deep dive on the Daybell case, so he asked if I'd like to join him with the Matthiases on Mormon Stories to talk about it. I came prepared to those interviews with a binder full of detailed notes, and the others nicknamed me Binder Mindy. I have always relied on my trusty notes and deep research as a way to contribute to the conversations. I have been effusive about HTC in the past, and have found value in much of their content. I have praised Lauren for her work ethic. The first time I met Lauren in person was at a trial in Boise. She and her friend Sarah generously allowed me to stay with them, for which I'm grateful. I saw Lauren's hustle and tenacity behind the scenes and was impressed by her. Outside of our collabs discussing the Daybell case, Visions of Glory, and Frank Hildebrandt, I have followed HTC's content less in recent years, mostly because of life getting busy and also just feeling drained from true crime in general. When I accepted John D's invitation a few months ago to join as a co-host for Lauren's personal story, I was unaware at the time of any of the drama behind the scenes. In retrospect, the timing of the interview raises concerns, but I will confirm that John has wanted to interview Lauren for a long time, and I was happy to participate. I sent a message to Lauren and Grayson shortly after the 9-hour live to extend my support. There were moments during the long live where things weren't quite adding up in my mind, but my message of support was mostly in response to the evident distress of the situation. Since then, I've spent many hours consuming content and sifting through information, including frequent visits to the subreddit. I appreciate what has been shared. It's a really good subreddit, you guys. My Mormon faith deconstruction has taught me that there is freedom and great value in learning to think critically. I spent the first 40 years of my life following the church path with gusto, and the past 11 years meticulously attempting to detangle a lifetime of conditioning. I have learned the importance of challenging confirmation biases and examining evidence despite devotion of loyalty to the subject of examination. I recognize that I only have a hangnail's worth of skin in this game. I don't produce my own content and keep a pretty low profile in general. I'm not a keeper of any damning information and don't know most of the people involved in this drama. The HTC rabbit hole started out as confusion and sadness several weeks ago. I had high hopes for the We Respond video as a way to bring clarity to the situation, but instead, I was catapulted into an obsessive quest for more information. My metaphorical binder is bursting at the seams, even considering the mounting pile of incredulous moments of discovery these past weeks. The copyright suit against Kresha and attempts to silence people talking about it is a line in the sand and led me to finally say something publicly. What the hell, you guys? Very poor form and so incredibly disappointing. I think it's very telling that somebody that interviewed her on Mormon Stories is saying this. Down in the comments, people were thanking her. Thank you, Binder, Mindy. I especially appreciate you sharing the cognitive arc of watching the 9-hour marathon to today, as mine is very similar. And I've heard from many of you that it's very similar. This because nobody wants, you hear, stalker, and you freeze. You're like, oh my gosh, the suit against Crush of all people is simply I don't understand it from every vantage. If she is trying to do damage control, that is the single worst move she could have contemplated, much less engaged. I can have a good deal of compassion for someone who is obviously spitting out, feeling shame and terrified of their public perception, but that is entirely overshadowed by the horrible specter of future traumatizing a victim. Not just any victim, but the family that made HTC want it is what it is today, over photos literally given to them by the victim's family. It's just beyond any and every line of civility, decency, compassion, or care, and can only be seen, in my humble opinion, as sheer panic, selfishness, and complete disregard, if not disdain, for others. And I couldn't agree more. Lauren and John are so self-important, our dingo crew. They cannot see their situation as outsiders do. They should have hired a PR firm after the 9-hour video. Lauren should have owned up to whatever messages she's worried about, apologized, said she was going to spend some time with her family, and she could have come back with little damage. I agree. So I thought that was a little tea that was worth mentioning right up front. I think it's very interesting that the Mormon Stories is on this now. I want to do a live. I'm working on one, putting it together. I would love to have anybody that was in the Mormon faith. I'm going to reach out to Kresha and a few other people that I know. I don't really know Kresha, so I don't know if she will answer. But I'm going to reach out to some people that I know are ex-Mormons to try to do a panel for you guys, because I think it's fascinating, the whole Mormon spin and take, and I'm not convinced that she's not still Mormon. So that's what I plan on doing. So let's get the dingo card back up here. And let's read the slots, and then we'll go into the Jodi Arias. Uh-oh. Did someone change my dingo card? Just don't edit the dingo card when you get here, okay? Because somebody changed it. Let me see. Okay. Just if I'll just put the eyes on, okay? So here's the dingo card. We have Lori Vallow. Hello, Hidden Gems. Nancy Grace was here. Dr. John Matthias. Dark Psychology. Grayson's version. She's still writing a blog from prison. Lauren interprets. She's obsessed. Oh, Holy Night. Jodi sings. She wanted Travis to see her sing. Criminal Psychologist. Spinning the narrative. We're confused. Lauren or Dr. John talks to Grayson off screen. Where are the receipts? Contradiction alert. Sorry, I fought with AI and it was not putting the words right or running them together. So this, if you see anything wrong, please just don't. Please just don't. I was screaming at AI. I was screaming at AI and the bird was telling me to stop it. Then I knew I had to calm down when the bird told me to stop it. But I'm a spicy Scorpio and I'm a woo-woo girl, and we're getting ready to go into Mercury retrograde, and things are really intense right now, and I'm really feeling it. So that's not how court works. Where is she getting the ingredients? She has access to AI in prison. Revenge is addictive. Hidden Gems, Inmate Idol, and Unhinged. So help me out, you guys. It's my first dingo experience. And if I'm doing it not quite right, let me know that too, because I'm open to, I'm open to it. Crusha's never been Mormon. No, I don't think Crusha. I'm talking about Lauren. Unless somebody else said Crusha was Mormon. Screaming at AI is a great name for a brand, and that's right. You have the same birthday. Yes, that's right. You're Scorpio princess. I remember that conversation. Aha. Don didn't know that. I don't know who Don is. Jodi Arias conversion into Mormonism was only so Travis would love her more. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And you know what? I totally forgot that there was a Mormon angle to the Jodi Arias case. So, I mean, she's covering another Mormon case. She's covering another Mormon case. What else are you guys saying? Let me see. Welcome to everybody coming in. It's so good to see everybody. Greetings from Cameron, North Carolina. Hi, Betsy Sue. It's good to see you. Good morning, Miss Me. I love seeing where everybody's from. I personally am in Florida, but I am from Michigan, so you'll hear me talk about Michigan a lot too. All right, guys. So this is my little clip that I did that I released 8 days ago. What Jodi Arias is really doing in prison, from 5K art to singing in Christmas pageants. Jodi thinks that she can get out of prison. Like, what is it? How does she think she can get out of prison? This was, I did this video like probably 2 years ago, and it's so interesting. I don't know if you know this, but I started my YouTube channel to help me heal. I had had a stroke and I had some pulmonary embolisms. I was on psych meds. I was on pain meds, and I've since transitioned off of all that prescribed medication to herbal stuff. I do I do herbal meds. I microdose and I do herbal stuff. It's all natural, and I've managed to get off of all of my psych meds, all of my pain meds. I do take like Tylenol, and I take some like some herbal, like over the counter stuff, magnesium and stuff like that for my pain. So you will notice a real difference in this way I sound, which I think is so interesting, because in the last few videos that Lauren has been doing, she sounds really like she pre-gamed quite a bit. And I'm just wondering if Lauren is medicated now. I'm going to speed myself up because it's almost annoying how slow I'm talking.
Pick me up.
Glad that my brain is healing. I used to struggle with thoughts all the time. Here we go.
Problem in the trial. So I'm going to get her webpage for you. There it is.
I was also severely depressed, as you can probably tell.
So this is Jodi's webpage. To me, it's very high school level, which would make sense because I don't know if she even graduated high school, but it's very what you're taught in high school art, how to draw faces. And
so it is very high school level, but then when I went on and I was looking at her various art that she has, the various art pieces that she has up there, and it's interesting too because she met the girl in high school who runs it. She likes to get with high school girls, and they run her social media and they run this art site. And these are some of the drawings, the art that she does. And this right here, this painting down here is a silk painting that she did right here, this one. And it's sold. I'm just saying it's sold, and she had it listed for $5,000. And I went back like a year or so later and it was listed as sold. So this is what Jodi's doing in prison. And we go on, and then this is just a clip from it's like a 2-hour live that I did. We also watched a video call that she does from the prison. And then at the end, we get to see her singing. She likes to enter into, and this was a blog post that she did here, where she talks about what she demands in prison on the holidays, around the holidays. And she doesn't let any Scrooges around her during the holidays. If you're part of her crew and you're Scroogey, she sends you away for the Christmas season. She also writes blogs online, you guys. She obviously says it to she's not in high school anymore, obviously, but she says it to the person, and then they put it up in the blog. So, but this is her Jodi doing Oh Holy Night. And then we'll go into Dr. John and Lauren's interview.
This is Parawoman Radio, and I'm Amy. We just covered the Jodi Arias, what's up and what's new with her. And we're going to go out with Jodi singing because, don't you know Jodi is a triple threat? Thanks, everyone. If you could give this video a thumbs up, I would truly appreciate it. If you like my content, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, make sure to ring the bell so you get all my updates. Okay, so bye, everyone.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks.
So she wins every year, she says. And that is a clip that we did. Everything that we watch, I will put down in the YouTube show notes. We don't watch everything in its entirety. I'll stop things and start things. I like to I put together a story using the mixed media and various places over the internet, but we put everything down in the YouTube show notes for fair use and to cite our sources. So if you ever want to watch anything in its entirety, you can go over there. So this is the interview that they did. This channel has a new docu-series out, which is, and I learned of this yesterday when I was watching Every Day with Jay. There's a new docu-series out, the Arizona Family 3 TV CBS. I put out a new docu-series on the Jodi Arias, and it's called Obsessed, Unraveling Jodi Arias Examines one of Arizona's most notorious and closely followed murder cases from a new in-depth perspective. True Crime Arizona host Brianna Whitney walks us through Jodi Arias' own writings from her teenage years to today, revealing the obsession, manipulation, and emotional volatility that escalated long before the killing of Travis Alexander. And they are interviewing Brianna Whitney, the hidden true crime. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. Reminder, if you're playing Dingo with us, let me give you the link one more time. This is the Dingo card. I promise you by next week I will have it so that the Dingo card is up there. Well, it'll be a different one because whatever well, maybe, I don't know. Do you guys want me to call it Dingo or Tingo? I don't know. Which one do you like? Oh, this doesn't matter. But there's the link if you want to play along with us. And periodically, I will be popping back and forth and filling in the slots. I wish I could have it up on the screen, but promise next week we'll be rolling like champs. So this is Dr. John Lauren.
There's research showing that revenge is an addictive like.
What did I say this lady's name was? I got to look really quick. Dr. John Lauren and Brianna. Okay.
It's in many ways, the desire for revenge is more addictive than all the drugs you can imagine that are addictive.
Hello, Hidden Gems. We have a fascinating conversation for you today, interview with you today. I already know it's going to be because we are with our dear friend, Brianna Whitney. She is a true crime correspondent in Arizona with AZ Family. You do incredible work. We became friends, covering trials together, you and I. You have interviewed some infamous criminals, including Lori Vallow. You did multiple interviews with her. Dr. John Matthias has definitely weighed in on some of your work, and you have additional work that you have been doing, busy behind the scenes. We have been privy to some of it. It's incredible. You have just concluded an entire Jodi Arias documentary. It's called Obsessed, Unraveling Jodi Arias. Obsessed, and we're all obsessed. It was a fascinating documentary. We were able to watch it a little bit early to see it. Yeah. Thank you for that opportunity. The documentary.
We've already got one. Woohoo! We already got one. She's obsessed. I'm going to take it. So here we go. But yeah, if you guys could help me out too, because I'm a little scattered today myself.
It comes out today on YouTube. You can find it there. It'll also be on Roku. We'll learn all of the places you can hear this documentary, and it'll be linked in the description of this episode. We're lucky that my co-host is a criminal psychologist hanging out with us today, so we can ask him all our questions, because I don't know about you, Brianna, but Jodi Arias is one of those infamous figures that people still talk.
Wait, we got another one. I'm pretty sure criminal psychologist is up there. Wow, I didn't think we'd be hitting them so fast. All right, criminal psychologist. There you are. Did she say anything else right out of the bat? Let me know if she did. Because, geesh. And also, I want to move these closer so I can just go back and forth. There.
In my opinion, because of the psychology, right? Because of
100%.
Yeah. I can't imagine what you were unraveling as you delved into this. I communicated with her. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You guys are pen pals.
Little of that. Yeah. as I seem to be with the prison people these days.
Yes. Yeah. So, I want to delve into this. I don't know if John wants to start. We just want to be like, tell us who Jodi Arias is. Unravel this for us, John. But I first want to say the documentary was fascinating. Can you take us a little bit into how you decided to get into this, how you wrote Jodi Arias, and then maybe we'll ask John some questions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I honestly had you guys in mind with when we were talking about how we were going to do this story, because I think so many people these days, especially with true crime, have that fascination with psychology and that criminal mindset and what we can learn from those people. And even getting to work with you guys, I quickly was exposed to how many people care about that side of cases. And so when we were talking about what we were going to do for a documentary, there's so many factors that go into it, right? Like video, how much video can we shoot and how much is there in a case? Exposability in terms of, is this a name people will know and will they want to hear more about the case? And there's a lot on Jodi that's out there. I mean, she's infamous. There's quite a bit. There's a lot about Travis Alexander. And so we knew if we did it, we were going to have to take a little bit of a different angle. And so a little behind the scenes, I was able to get the police report. This is actually a crazy story. The police report is $10,000 from Mesa Police, because there are so many people that request this even to this day, so many years after the crime. The murder happened in 2008. People are still requesting this just to go through things. And so they started charging people.
$10,000? Did she say $10,000?
And so a little behind the scenes, I was able to get the police report. This is actually a crazy story. The police report is $10,000 from Mesa Police, because there are so many people that request this even to this day, so many years after the crime. The murder happened in 2008. People are still requesting this just to go through things. And so they started charging people, but they knew we were going to do a news documentary. And so they were able to get me the police report, not for $10,000. And it is huge. It's like this big. There's a huge binder on my desk that's this big. And I was like, let me go through this and see, what can we derive that maybe we didn't hear as much about, or that's not preserved in certain documentaries, docuseries, podcasts nowadays. And I was stunned by the amount of writing that Jodi did, not only in her journal leading up to the crime itself and after, but also in the large amount of texts and emails and AIMs and everything to Travis. And once I started,
I do wonder if she knows about all of this. Carolina says, oh, wow, that's Brianna from Arizona Family. I heard that LM was trying to get Justin Lum fired because of his outstanding coverage of Charles Vallow. Lord, will never be like JL, who is a real journalist. I wonder if she knew about this and why would she come on there? I mean, any coverage is good coverage, maybe. I don't know. This came out on November 20th, so it just came out 2 days ago.
really getting into how she spoke, her cadence, her style, and the way that she almost would manipulate her writings to go along with what she needed it to happen in that day, that date, according to the crime. I realized the psychology was something that I really wanted to look into based on her own words. On top of that, she is writing a lot from prison, and I know you'll probably get into that. And so I'm very...
That's what I was saying. I'm wondering if she's on some type of mood stabilizer, because I didn't realize how it slurred my voice. I mean, you just heard it. I sounded medicated. So I just wonder if she's not pre-gaming, if she's just medicated now.
Privy to what's happening in her life now.
Also, I heard her say that she has MS. So, it also could be a flare. I don't know. My MS flares doesn't affect my speech. It affects usually the way I walk, and it affects my words. Like I can't remember words, but my fibromyalgia does that too. It will affect my speech. It'll make me sound like I have the flu.
From written word as well. And that's kind of how we decided to take the approach of this psychological angle. What does she suffer from most, or what does she have most in her psychology that makes up who Jodi is? Because she's complicated, she's smart, and she's cunning. And that's kind of where this all was born from.
Complicated, smart, and
I don't like to speculate either, but I am mentioning it for the fact that, it could be that she's being medicated by a doctor. It could be that she's not medicating herself. And I'm a fair person. Fair is fair, as much as I don't like her. I'm just saying these could be also possible reasons.
Honey. Yeah. Would you agree with that, John? He's nodding.
I mean, I haven't talked to her, so it would be hard to make an assessment of those elements. But certainly, I mean, she seems to fit those descriptions, I think.
Yeah.
I would definitely
Yeah.
say, yeah, she is those things. Yeah.
And I don't think she's changed a lot in the way that, I mean, at least from what I was able to read and dive into from the files back then and everything to what she's doing now and in the many writings that she's doing from prison, it does seem like she is just the same person in the same way in which she believes that people really, really, really care about what she has to say.
Self-importance. A lot of self-importance. You know, I found it fascinating to learn that she is still writing a blog from prison. How has that happened, by the way, that all prisoners can go put their thoughts onto the World Wide Web for all of us? They don't even have to write letters anymore. Is that it?
So the way, I guess maybe it differs among the prison system in different states, but what she's doing is she has somebody on the outside who has this blog set up for her, and she writes different blog posts through the exact way she contacted me, which is like the prison email system, the messaging system. And so she will get these writings out to her team to put onto her blog, and that's how she's able to do it. What I don't know, though, is she has some different pictures that she's been able to get to this person, like her, updated mugshots throughout. And yeah, those are public, but there's even more pictures in Perryville prison that she's been able to get on her blog. That part I'm not sure about. But she does have access to quite a bit. I mean, I was stunned to learn that she has access to like
Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. My mic keeps cutting out. It keeps muting. And I didn't realize that I was muted, but I was talking about the apps. They have these new apps nowadays that you can sign up to talk to prisoners on. And that's what they're talking about. Jodi is using these apps. Each prison system has various apps, and you just join the app and you give money. You like request to like connect with them, and then if they connect to them, then you've got to pay money to talk to them, and then they expect you to like pay money so that they can message you back. And it sounds to me like that's what she's doing. I remember, was it a year or so ago, Alex Erickson brought this to all of our attention, that you can talk to prisoners on apps. Has anyone, prisoner apps, yeah. Has anyone done that? Dylan Tallman wanted, I signed up for an app, but I just, like I said, I don't have 2 pennies, nickels to rub together right now. I don't have money for extra stuff. Like I have to borrow money a lot just to buy food or pay my utilities, right? So I just haven't gotten to that space and like back on my feet. But I know like they do use them. Prisoners do use them, and you can communicate with them that way. I hate this new StreamYard setup.
lot of ways to cook different foods and bake, and she participates in certain like competitions, and she knows quite a bit about technology. Like there's quite a bit that she has much more access to than I would have expected from a prisoner who's in prison for life.
Well, she has a tablet because in the phone call conversation, she's on her tablet, and they do video calls, and the video call cuts on, and she puts her tablet down, and she walks over to the video call very creepily and looks into the video call and looks down into it, and it's like this. I think the girl says she's a sophomore in high school that she's talking to on the video call. It's crazy.
Baking in prison, is it like a baking cookbook from like prison cookbook, or is it like,
I don't know. She wrote about, I forget what it was in her blog. It was like some decadent cheesecake type situation. I'm like, how does she have these ingredients? Like, it was beyond the normal scope of like,
Okay, let's pop over to our dingo. I heard. Where does she get the ingredients? I know. Okay, so I know that Lauren has said Dr. John. Oh, I covered it already. Okay, so Lauren said Dr. John. They said dark psychology. Where is she getting the ingredients? Have they said anything else? I haven't heard unhinged. I think they're about to say, did she say they had access to AI in prison? I think she just said that, right? I think she did. So let's do it. There we go. So we don't have a bingo yet, but we're getting close. We just need, where are the receipts for a bingo or dingo? Sorry, for a dingo. A dingo ate my baby. It'd be funny if Junie flew in here and started saying that. He just says, eat the baby.
Sugar, flour, I'm like, where is she getting all this, and how is she learning all of this? But it does seem she has access to internet in some capacity, because she is able to see certain things online. To me, the most interesting part of,
I don't think they have the tablets yet in Sarah Boone's prison, but I mean, I was looking at Chris Watts's prison, and this was like 6 months ago, so I don't know. They might have the tablets now.
her blogs in general, was the amount of times that she addresses people thinking she should have a girlfriend, and that she flirts with police officers or the detention officers.
What?
And to make it a point that she doesn't do that, and that, she could, but she doesn't. I just thought that was.
I think Sarah Boone does, because I read some text conversations with Tanika's 2 cents. Tanika from Tanika's 2 cents. She had gotten text conversations between Sarah and Lana, so I think they do.
Par for the course with the Jodi playbook, so to speak.
Wait, she talks about having a girlfriend, or that people think she has a girlfriend and she doesn't?
That people think she has one, or should have one, or could have one, and that she's not interested in girls.
But she did write, you had this in the documentary. Spoiler alert, I've just decided we're going to put this out. I'll put it out when it's on YouTube. Or
That's fine.
Spoiler alert, she does mention sort of exploring bisexuality. Is that a fair way to? That's what she said.
Yeah,
that was the term she used, right?
The exact quote was to quote a refrain from Katy Perry, "I kissed a girl and I did not like it." So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna head over to our dingo, because she just said a few things. Okay, so she mentioned Lori Vallow too. I saw she threw Lori Vallow's picture up on the screen. And she's writing a blog post from prison. That was said too. And Lauren just interrupted, so there's another one. Oh, I must have taken out she kissed the girl and liked it. I had it in there. Did I take it out? Spinning the narrative. We're confused. That's not how court works. Contradiction alert. No, I did take it out. That sucks. But we got a lot more, so we're close to getting a dingo here. Let me see. If I missed anything, let me know, you guys.
It's not her thing. Okay. Thus she doesn't
Not
have
her
a
thing.
girlfriend. She tried it.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. We're just letting John sit here and listen, and we'll get to him in a second.
I'm sure he has a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. When I have a lot of questions, so I'm like, sorry, John, sit down. We'll get to you.
No,
Wow.
it has been explained to me, and they don't have free access, and it's very limited. But I just wonder, like, what happens if like a techie gets locked up? It seems like they could figure that out. Like, I feel like techies can always do things to get around the system. So I always just wondered, but yeah, they can't just get onto any website, and they have to pay for movies and apps and stuff like that. It's like, it's a a way that the prison's going to make money off of them and the family. It's a real scam, in my opinion, but it is what it is. I think our system needs a reform on every level: the prison system, the education system, the health system, our political system. We're living in a cesspool of just everything needs an overhaul.
Wow. So she's in there, she's writing, she's cooking. AI, even she knows about AI. She wrote you. I'll say that people could go watch the documentary to learn about your exchanges with her. It's fascinating to me. If you have kids, you know the witching hour is not midnight. It's that after school pre-dinner window where everyone's starving and you're out of ideas.
Hey guys, have they always put ads in their content? This is the first time I've seen this. So have they always had sponsors? Has Hidden True Crime had sponsors before? This is interesting.
Yes. On my busiest days, that used to be the moment I'd grab whatever was fastest and just hope for the best. That changed when I found Nurture Life. This podcast is sponsored by Nurture Life. Nurture Life is a meal delivery service that makes nutritious meals. And
Is this new? Have they always had sponsorships, you guys? I don't think so. I haven't seen them for a while. Usually she has a Dream Coffee ad. Oh, okay. Looks like the doc is trying his best to not show stuff. I haven't even noticed that. I will pay attention to that. Okay, let's move forward.
Witnesses to his best.
Looks like he's constipated, actually.
Friends. You did an excellent job laying this out. Justice for Travis. Like I said, I won't share, the heartbreak and the justice of the trial. You showed us both. It really was a fascinating sort of look back with some additional new information. I'm curious, you were young when Travis was killed, when this crime occurred. And so you weren't following it like so many of us. Did you? What do you think of it now? Looking at it, learning all about it.
Is Lauren doing like, I'm noticing Lauren is doing the majority of the talking. Is that normal for them? Is he acting different? Because he's not really saying much. Oh, he's extra quiet. He looks like he would rather be anywhere else but where he is right now. She's never there to cook for him. That's a coffee she swears by. What's the coffee name again? Drip Coffee? Good morning, Ruth Ann 85. Yes, HTC has Dream Tea and a couple of others. Gotcha. He's usually pretty quiet unless addressed directly. He used to join in more than that. So some people say yes, some people say no.
I want to know your thoughts in learning about this. And and then in addition to that, I have a follow-up to that. Yeah.
Man, I should have had interrupts and then interrupts and then interrupts.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I was young when Jodi killed Travis, but I was a little bit older when the trial actually happened, because there was quite a gap there. That the murder happened in 2008. She went to trial at the very beginning of 2013. And by that point, I was, I knew who Jodi Arias was, and I was paying attention somewhat to crime, a little bit older. And at the time, I just thought it was like, another kind of high profile trial. I didn't like get into the weeds of it though until I was here. And I going through that file video, I was shocked. I have covered a lot of trials here. I've covered crazy trials. I've covered crazy people in the trials. I have never seen the fanfare and the chaos and the kind of movie style soap opera vibes that this trial had in this state and just all over the nation. I think one of the more shocking parts was the amount of people that showed up here from all over, desperate to get into the courthouse. And we saw a little bit of that during Lori Vallow Daybell's trial here. But I mean, mobs of people outside screaming, crying, hugging when any little thing would happen. There were so many days where people couldn't get in or weren't even outside, that they actually formed like a group and then went to a nearby restaurant to stream the trial live from near the Maricopa County courthouse. It was crazy. Nancy Grace was here covering a lot of it. And in our file footage, we have the story of her in the Estrella jail.
Okay, we got another one. Nancy Grace was here. Oh, no, we're almost to Dingo up there. We need hidden. I feel like they've said hello, hidden gems. I feel like, haven't they said hidden gems? But I can't verify it for sure. And we need Grayson's version for another. We need where are the receipts for another. So we're getting close to a dingo, my friends.
Going like cell by cell, being like, Arias, what do you know about her? Like the access and just the salacious kind of media frenzy that was around this. I've never seen it before. Yes, I know like Karen Reed might be the best example recently where there was quite a bit of crowd. And
it's actually a good point. Why is she doing are they allowed to have chocolate? Because doesn't chocolate have caffeine in it? They probably are. What did I hear the other day? Oh no, I heard the other day that the new Mormons, they have done a loophole where they can drink. And this is just, guys, this is just all my research, my opinion. I urge you to go out there and do your own. But they said that Mormons can now drink energy drinks that have, energy drinks, but they can't drink like coffee, tea. And it seems like hot chocolate would be in there too, but maybe not. Did he do a tongue? I should have put that in the dingo. He snakes his tongue.
And interest there and people outside. But this was almost just like off the rails, unhinged. And it wasn't just outside. It was also inside the courtroom. The way that the prosecution, the defense presented themselves and Jodi on the stand for 18 days. I feel like so much of what happened during that trial would never happen now. And it's a catch-22 with the trial and just the case itself. It garnered so much interest for Travis and what happened. But a lot of it was for those reasons of the salaciousness of everything. And I feel like it almost highlights what can be like that ethical question in true crime of, how do we report this and make this big and these people known, these victims and everything, without exploiting it for all that it is. And this trial honestly kind of crossed that line.
You actually answered my next question too. I was going to ask you what you would think of it today and how that sort of paints how you report on true crime.
I'm shocked at what was allowed and what was said, things that were written on lower thirds on air in general. Back then, it seemed like it was just, it's nothing that I would ever do now. And while I think that there's so much interest still in true crime, it feels that it was kind of just, I described it a lot as unhinged. And I feel like that's how it was. And it doesn't seem like that's as much what would be allowed today. And I definitely would probably report a little differently. Just because for that factor. But I also think that in this day and age, there's also.
She said unhinged. So. I'm surprised they haven't. I got hidden gems twice. Damn. Oh well. We'll have two things on the board.
More.
Anybody's good at making bingo cards, hit me up. I've got my email going across the screen and I would love to talk to you because I am going to get this right.
there's more thought around how things are portrayed and true crime ethics and things like that. I think at the time, like cable TV was so popular that this was just like, I mean, thousands and thousands of people were watching this every day, and that stuff sold. And so I think that we have kind of that duty in between here to expose something to where people want to watch it and are interested, but doing that responsibly.
Makes sense. John, you've been so patient. I feel like I need to offer you. Do you want to interrupt this right now and say something, or should we keep going?
He's been so patient. He looks like he's going to take a poo. He looks like he's going to poo his pants here. Oh, the dynamics of these two is annoying. I don't believe for a second that he runs the show. She 100% runs it, and she makes him think he runs it.
No, I'm good. You guys keep going. I mean,
These are great questions.
One of the fascinating things about Jodi Arias to me is I don't see this case as being that complicated. Like, for all the fanfare and all the frenzy around the trial, right? Like, I get why people were interested in it, as you point out, Brianna, about the salacious nature of the crime and their relationship, and right. But I mean, like, when you break it down psychologically, it's really not all that complicated. I mean, it like understand.
He has said it was complicated. Jodi Arias made it into a circus, and thus that's what makes it interesting, John. Nobody's saying it's difficult, although Jodi has her stands, just like everybody else, that, poor Jodi, she was abused, railroaded, bloody, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the vast majority of people are not standing Jodi Arias.
Understanding the motives and reasons, like, it's pretty straightforward.
Well, keep going. Yeah. Keep going. Tell us more.
Well, I mean, like, if you look for the motive, it's simple. It's revenge. Right. I don't think it's that complicated, and it's revenge for being rejected by Travis. And so, like, that's kind of an age-old story. Lauren, you and I talk about all the time that we call it the true crime trio, which is greed, lust, and revenge. And actually, there's some fascinating new research on revenge. There's actually a book that just came out a few months ago called The Science of Revenge. It's by James Kimmel Jr. He's done a lot of research on this, and there's research showing that revenge is
This was 2 days ago. And I thought it was really interesting. Jay for Justice pointed out that they aired this interview when this went live. Her actual docuseries went live. They aired their interview at the same time. So that's weird. Let me see. Yeah, this was on the 20th too. So I don't know. They did that too.
Addictive, that it's in many ways, the desire for revenge is more addictive than all the drugs you can imagine that are addictive.
Thank you.
Wow. So, like cocaine, meth, right? Heroin, revenge is equally addictive. Wow. If not more.
It is an old case, but this is a new interview. She just released the docuseries on it, and so they're interviewing her. And it's interestingly enough, somebody pointed out it's also a Mormon case.
More so. And the brain scans are showing that revenge is it can be a really overpowering, compelling component of people's desires to engage and commit violence. And so
I think she has that capacity. I don't think Dr. John does either.
Back then, I think maybe that wasn't as well understood. I mean, I think anybody who watched Dateline would know that revenge was always kind of a major motivation. Sure. But the thing about, I think, to understand Jodi, you really have to go back. You picked up pieces of this in the documentary, Brianna, where you talked about, you talked to a old high school classmate. Mm-hmm. And one of the most interesting things, he told the story of, he had a friend or a guy that was dating Jodi, and they broke up, and all of a sudden Jodi.
I can't say for sure, but I heard he was. That's just what somebody said to me, but I've never validated it. But because I think I was asking why Lauren wasn't a Mormon anymore.
Is outside his window. He's watching TV, and Jodi is standing there at the window, right? There's other
Yeah.
bits and pieces of when Travis was with other women, that he slashed his tires on his car. Friends, these are all things that you picked up on this documentary, which I think are really important.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Well, you're not going to release this until Thursday or
Yeah,
Friday.
no, it's perfect. Right.
A friend, the word obsessed shows up all the time. The cellmate, Donovan, says that Jodi's obsessed with Travis. And then the friend says she's obsessed, right? Like, that's why you call this documentary Obsessed. But what does all that mean, right? Like, so if you look at this, there's a history of stalking here. Right? This begins with stalking, and stalking is based on fantasy.
Oh, because Dr. John knows stalking. Dr. John and Lauren, they know stalking. If anyone knows stalking. Jeez.
Stalking is based on the
birds in the bathroom laughing at that.
So there's a well-known psychologist, J. Reed Malloy, who talks a lot about stalking, and he has this idea that stalkers create what he calls a narcissistic linking fantasy. And what he means by that is that the stalker creates a fantasy related to some object. Typically that's a person, right? And the fantasy, I think, is really what drives the obsession. And the fantasy, I think with Jodi, the fantasy is largely about this idealized version of love. Or to take it even further, I think with Jodi, there's this fantasy of merger. There's this merger fantasy of how she's going to somehow like become a part of Travis or any boyfriend she's dating, and somehow that will like make her whole or solve all her problems, right? And so it's the fantasy, it's this stalking part that Jodi has from high school, and she continues with Travis, right? And so I think that's what needs to be looked at. And so when she becomes particularly obsessed with Travis, but then when he breaks up with her, she shifts into another gear. It's for her, it's particularly humiliating, I think. There's a lot of shame. So he has this fantasy about marrying him and somehow him rescuing her, I think, in some sense, like this version of idealized or over-idealized love, which, by the way, is one of the features of borderline personality disorders, which Dr. Nelson and Dr. DiMarte apparently diagnosed her.
Definitely put her, my mother was borderline personality, and I can spot a borderline a mile away. Yeah, definitely. Although, you can't diagnose people. Although he's about to say she was diagnosed with it.
With this. So in borderline personality, there's this tendency to kind of over-idealize people and then to devalue them. So that seems to be in play here too. But you have this fantasy that's now completely shattered.
The other day that I sensed some borderline traits in our little Lauren turd, but it's just my opinion. You can't diagnose anyone, but we're saying that Lauren resembles a lot of like the perpetrators in her stories, and if that's true, then we look at Jodi and we look at Lauren and we see some similarities, don't we?
Travis breaks up with her, which creates a lot of shame, creates humiliation, and even to some degree rejection, I think, is about survival. If you go back to our earliest roots with attachment, and our very survival depends upon not being rejected by our caregivers, right? So there's something really primitive about this type of rejection. If you look at any human being that's rejected, it's a good way to assess their mental health. Do they have the resources to cope with that? Do they handle rejection in a healthy way? Are they resilient enough to deal with rejection and go on with their life? Or do they take it as something that's humiliated, something that's shameful, something that their very survival might be dependent upon?
Travis did really mess with Jodi. Nobody deserves what they got. Nobody. If murder is what you get, nobody deserves, well, unless you're, and I don't even really agree with execution in prison, but if it is on the agenda, then I agree with it. Like, I wouldn't, if they said let's get rid of executions, I'd be okay with it. But if a prison system has it and they don't use it, then I'm pissed. Then I'm pissed. Like if they bargain it away, like what they did with Brian Koberger or Stephen Stearns, then I get mad because why even have it? If we're going to have it, I want to use it. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but that's my thought process.
Right. And I think with Jodi, obviously, she doesn't have the resources. She doesn't have the psychological resources to cope with rejection. And so the response to that is revenge. The response to that is rage. Again, like if you look at stalkers, when they're
he did this with when he was analyzing Sarah Boone. You know, he was saying that Sarah Boone had growth in the 5 years that she sat in jail writing letter after letter to the judge, being snarky, and then does her "I forgive all of you, but F you to the world" in her finale speech, right? Yeah, she really learned. She really grew and became a better person, Dr. John.
rejected, the response typically is rage, or one of the reasons they engage in stalking is because they're enraged at the object who didn't give them what they wanted. And so the natural response to that is to seek to destroy or damage the person or the thing that's rejecting you.
So was that the motive? Was they broke? I thought she was going to Cancun, wasn't she? I need backstory on this. Did he break up with her? I'm trying to remember.
So the problem with them was they were so on and off again. And at the time that she killed him, no, they were not together. He was going to take another girl to Cancun.
Okay.
Jodi knew that. Jodi knew that he was dating other women. And so, yeah, and she confirmed that date too in text right before, or AIM's Yahoo Messenger, whatever, confirmed that with him. And so she definitely was aware of that date. And a lot of people think that was kind of like the final straw. Like he wasn't inviting her, he was moving on. And that was, so she was never going to Cancun. She knew that another girl was going with Travis, who Travis was interested in. Yeah.
Right. And that he wanted to date women of the Mormon faith, which she had converted to, but they were a part of the salaciousness of this, let's be honest, is, I mean, I actually wrote down.
I mean, they converted to it, but they were continuing to do things that were not in the Mormon faith. And I'm talking about the X activities.
A lot of things that I think make it salacious. This is not psychological. This is just someone that consumes and reports on true crime. But you have clearly a beautiful couple, right? Youthful, beautiful couple that should have it all. Then you've got this, right, the sexual relationship, the desire that's actually there's also sexual tension. It's off limits sex, right? They're trying not to have it, because then you have the religious aspect of this Mormonism, that she converted to his faith, that he wants to be with chaste and moral women, and that is not.
She's so all up in these Mormon stories. That fascinates me.
Not what they're doing. So there's this, I think, not just sex, but sexual tension, something forbidden, a forbidden fruit. Then you've got her journals, right? You've got all of the
journals. She still sounds like she either pre-gamed or is taking the meds.
This writing, it's like listening. It's like literally listening to the inner thoughts of just, someone.
John was like, listen, Lauren Turd, no pre-gaming. No pre-gaming before this live, but Lauren went into the bathroom and did just a little.
And that's just a murderer, and full of lust and revenge. And then you have, I think that's pretty much what I've got, but I do see why it grabbed. I do see why it grabbed, the nation's, if not the world's attention. And then you have, as you point out, she was on the stand for so many days, where I feel like, attorneys now would be like, you just sit down and don't talk.
It was definitely a spectacle.
Yeah,
it was and the prosecution, right? Like the whole thing. It was like theater.
Yes.
The prosecutors were like so over the top, right? The whole thing was like theater.
Yeah. And they're both disbarred, the prosecutor and the defense attorney. And it's a lot of it has to do with this trial. I mean, it's just, you like couldn't write this as a more like made for TV movie than what happened here. So, I mean, there was just so many aspects of that. Dr. John, your analysis is really interesting for me to hear that, especially the part about the revenge and how addictive that is. Because I hadn't heard that before. It makes perfect sense. But I think that there was a lot of that at play here.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely revenge.
Dr. John a little happier. He's getting a little more animated.
is what's driving this, and revenge over being rejected, right, and having to deal with.
He's getting a little spittle on his lip, though. I think the tongue's going to come out. Oh, gosh, I got to stop. The AI this morning has made me a little aggressive, so I need to not be like that.
The shame and humiliation of that rejection. When
And the brutality.
What's that?
Oh, go,
Yeah.
finish. I didn't know you're still going, John. Sorry.
Oh, and
And the what?
when she has this fantasy of perfect love, this fantasy of marrying him, in spite of all their ups and downs and their turmoil in their relationship, she still clings to this fantasy. She's apparently had these fantasies since high school, right? Because she's showing up at boyfriends' homes when they're dating other people. I mean, this is a pattern here, and I think it begins with, I would say it begins with probably insecure attachment going back to her childhood.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some childhood trauma, but this predates Travis, I think, to a
And
large
that's what we
degree.
learned.
Yeah.
We didn't quite know that. I mean, I'm glad we interviewed the high school classmate because that gave some insight right there that this was a pattern, and we didn't really know, especially because at least one of her boyfriends took the stand, former boyfriends, who said she was never a problem and they had a good relationship and things like that. But I think, maybe that was somebody that wasn't rejecting her. Therefore, she had more control and more power, and it wasn't as enticing. But I thought that
Was that the older boyfriend that she had been living with and then left him for Travis? I think that guy took the stand.
was interesting too. And then Lauren, what you were saying,
Ended up rejecting him for Travis, so he probably got out of the whole situation because of poor Travis. Oh,
the brutality. I mean, it's still shocking to me how somebody of her stature and kind of petite nature could go that far and do that much in that bathroom.
I think also the ability to see that someone might look non-threatening and sweet and yet can be capable of such brutality. I think that's part of the fascination with Jodi Arias, because that happens too. John has talked about when there are female stalkers, or where there are, it gets harder to believe, nobody believes, people when it's
female.
A beautiful petite woman that's coming after them. And so I think that's part of this intrigue too. And I also, the brutality of it. And then another thing I was going to mention, and actually I just forgot it. What were you going to say, John? And I'm going to think of this. I had a question
the
for Brianna.
stereotype of females or women being meek and passive, right?
Yeah.
It challenges all of that. And I think people struggle with that. People struggle with the idea that women and females can be violent in general. There's definitely stereotypes around that. And I think, so this is playing into that too, because it violates that stereotype, and people are fascinated. How is it possible that a female can commit this kind of violence, right? It doesn't fit the model. It doesn't fit the model we're used to.
I think
that's happening all around, because look at all the teachers that are coming out. They've been molesting or raping their students. The female teachers is just getting outrageous, and the stepmothers that are doing things. We have to come to the realization that anybody can do anything. And it's not words that we need to pay attention to words, but we also need to pay attention to behaviors.
Struggled with that too. Like when they were in, even if they believed, I mean, that was the overwhelming feeling I got from the two we talked to, was like, there were jurors who were like, she's a girl. She's a young girl. She couldn't do this. How could we possibly put a young girl to death? Like that was also part of it.
Yeah, that was fascinating to hear the sort of the jurors' hearts, making this ultimate decision about someone's life.
Yes.
This episode is sponsored by Aura. Have you ever searched your name online and found out that all this information on you isn't even in a bag?
You usually have 2 ads, you guys, in a 50-minute video. I honestly, I watched their Sarah Boone and I didn't see any ads, and now we got another ad. Methinks somebody is struggling if they're putting 2 ads, but maybe this is the way they do things. But that's annoying to me when people put 2 ads. 2 ads, that's excessive. And then they're getting let's go down into, I gotta turn the air conditioner on. The baby bird's in the shower. Well, let me play this and then we'll go down into the comments. I want to see what they're saying down there. I got to turn the shower off, turn the air conditioner on, and I'll be right back. And then we're going down to the comments for a little break.
We have some serious serious concerns. And he laughed. And he said, they said, you're going to end up dead. And he laughed. He goes, you don't know her like I do. She would never hurt me. And I think that was also such a heartbreaking thing about this case too, is Jodi Arias has overshadowed Travis Alexander, the victim, who was brutally murdered, who actually defended her and said, just like the ex-boyfriend on the stand said she would never hurt anyone, he could have been that ex-boyfriend on the stand before his murder. I think, saying she had never, ever done anything. And then what's even so heartbreaking, not only was he brutally murdered by this woman, he was then accused of abusing her and domestic violence. And it was sort of like this last minute idea of hers. Oh, okay, so I am going to say I did it, but I had to because I was protecting himself. I mean, talk about being re-victimized on the stand, not being able to stand up for yourself after death and having his family have to hear these things about him. I think that she did wear a mask and she did it for that ex-boyfriend on the stand too, because Travis was once that ex-boyfriend also defending her. That was a point I wanted to make.
No, you're right. And that was a thing. And he even got mad at those, at Clancy and Sky, the friends, for you know, they actually like kind of distanced themselves for a bit from Travis during that time because of it. And like, obviously in this documentary, it's a certain amount of time and we're going to release some podcast episodes that will dive more into this too. But that was kind of the issue with them, was like, look, we really don't think that you're safe here. And there was that quote from Sky in the documentary that was like, I thought it was Jodi, but I didn't want it to be because of what that would mean for Travis, because he had spent these years defending her and that he really didn't think she was capable of this. I thought that was super.
I believe it. AI was getting a little weird today with me. It was actually telling me to stop. I was getting really mad and it was yelling back at me. So let's take a quick break and go down into the comments and let's see. So they've done 2 ads now on this video. Let's see if they've gotten any moolah from their hidden gems. Well, how many comments do they have here? 269. So they are still moderating. Any money? I mean, there's never one really bad comment down here. I don't see any that they're not getting their usual donations. Oh, poo. No wonder they have to do 2 ads. They gotta make up because they're not grifting in their usual manner. I don't see one in here. I don't see one super sticker. Nada. It's like a desert. Methinks maybe that 9.5 hour live was their big finale. That's interesting. Let me see what you guys are saying. So what's the point of Dr. Fake being there if Lauren is now playing the role of psychologist? Because she's saying, pull up your big boy panties and get out there, John. Dr. Babe. Give the girls what they want. There really aren't that many women, Red Brummers, especially people who are not living in poverty and like took their child's life. Yeah, it is less than women than men, but it is becoming more increasing. And it is interesting to me that more and more teachers, it's coming out. Because I remember when Mary Kay Letourneau was like a big deal, and now it's like, oh, another? Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. And it just seems one right after another. And I've been seeing, like, I watch a lot of the Florida cases because we do Florida Woman Friday, and a lot of women are abusing their stepsons and stuff. That's coming out lately. They remove all the bad comments. So Lauren and Dr. Babe are in different places. Once again, has he never gone back home? Travis was the one living a double life, in my opinion, not Jodi. Jodi was trying to change, confirm to please Travis. Jodi had a lot of problems Jodi had a lot of problems, and Travis had a lot of problems, and they were not a good fit together. And Jodi, I do believe, had mental health issues. I would have to read her transcripts, and more like I've mentioned that I think there's some borderline narcissism, but I don't know for sure what she has. But I'm sure Travis did too, because he was doing some role playing where Jodi was a child, and that was, concerning, to say the least, to say the most, to say a lot. Very, very, very concerning. Okay. So, but nobody deserves what Travis got. I don't care. And Jodi, with her ninja stories, and now she's queen of the prison system where she is. And Jodi is, Jodi is a piece of work. And now she is institutionalized. So she's got all these mental issues, and she's been institutionalized. So, but Dr. John, let's go over to our dingo, because Dr. John, in usual manner, is contradicting himself. 1 minute, poor Jodi, poor Travis, and then he flip-flops. I should have just put that as a flip-flop right there. And they are spinning the HTC narrative. We need to get a dingo. I can't believe, has anyone heard of them say hidden gems? I haven't heard them say that yet, which shocks me. And I haven't heard them even mention Grayson yet, but they didn't mention Grayson till the very end on the other one that I watched. So, and I haven't heard she wanted Travis to hear sing. They haven't said we're confused yet. Inmate idol. I ran the transcripts through the AI and told them to pick out certain phrases. So this is where I got a lot of this. And then I added things like Lauren or Dr. John talks to Grayson off screen. So we need, where are the receipts? We're confused. Wow, we're almost Grayson's version. And hidden gems. I can't believe hidden gems hasn't been said yet. I agree, Jodi is a lot for sure. She is a lot. Jodi Arias is absolutely, but I'm sure Jodi has her story, but stories are just stories. To me, it will give us a reason why she did it, but what she did was so horrendous that, I don't know. I mean, she almost got the death penalty, so I guess she's just lucky. She's the princess of the prison now. And I think she likes it like that. I think if Sarah Boone could become the princess of her prison, she would be in hog heaven. I think a lot of these people, like Brian Koberger, is never going to become the princess of his prison. But I mean, I remember Jumpsuit Pablo talking about it. And like, if he had played his cards right, he could have become the princess of his prison. I'm calling him a princess for a reason, of course. But yeah, just like I don't think Chris Watts can ever become the princess of his prison, because they just don't have the personality. But Jodi does, Sarah Boone does. These people that railroaded people on the outside, they definitely have those goals and ability to possibly become the princesses. I know she can't, but I believe that if she could get enough money, and there's enough stupid people, and if she could get more backers on the outside, well, I don't know. Sarah's a crapshoot, actually, but now that you say that, and now that I think about it, Sarah is a crapshoot. But I still think Sarah has the possibility. She hasn't been there as long as Jodi has. She's got to learn the ropes. And I think once she becomes a little more institutionalized, even though she was in the jail for 5 years, she's only been over in the prison for a year. And I think, and I definitely think Donna Adelson, She has the ability to become a prison princess. Lori Vallow, too. Definitely Lori. Who else? I'm having fun thinking about prison princesses. Anyway, let's get back to this. Hey, guys, be sure to give this live a thumbs up for me. Helps me go out into the algorithm. Party out there. Bring more people back. It's just a free way to help me out. And if you want to help me out a little more, we take PayPal and Cash App and super stickers. We're coming to you today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Over on Facebook, we have where you can buy us coffee, stuff like that. So anything and everything is appreciated. Even just giving this a thumbs up helps me go out into the algorithm, and it shares it out there, and it's really, really appreciated. Thanks, guys.
Interesting. And to go along with this, in terms of re-victimizing the family and the friends in there, one thing that's not in the documentary, but it is in the podcast. I mean, during the sentencing phase, when they all got up and spoke, Travis's family and everything, and then Jodi.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that someone had sent a super sticker over. Thank you, Rayl77, for the $4.99 super sticker. Your support means everything to me, and I'm so sorry I missed it. I don't know when you sent it over.
He spoke to try to basically spare her life. She held up a shirt that says survivor and was like, all proceeds from this shirt is going to go to domestic violence survivors. And some people might not think that I'm one, but I'm a survivor. And it's just like, oh my God. I mean, to pull that out too at the nth hour after, and you're the killer is wild behavior in my opinion.
That's so over the top. And again, but she's doing, so she's bringing in this abuse excuse defense. Let's call it that. Right. And,
Totally.
and again, so she's playing on the stereotype that it's true that in most domestic violence relationships, when there are murders from the females in those relationships, typically it's reactive violence. So it is often, the majority of the time, it's violence that's responding to or reacting to some type of abuse, some type of ongoing long-term abuse, and it's right, and so it becomes a response to that of sorts. And so she's totally playing on that stereotype again.
Yep. Yeah.
And she's switching. She's becoming the victim. You know, it's actually interesting to think about if this happened today, you know, given the polarized world we live in, and given that all these knee-jerk reactions today about over anything, about revenge and kind of taking sides, I wonder if things would be significantly different in terms of getting a lot of people to rally around Jodi with this whole abuse excuse defense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of sides taken in crime these days. Are they guilty? Are they innocent? And there are a lot of documentaries now that take that approach, you know, revisiting a crime of a convicted felon to say, well, maybe not. That's sort of a thing right now in 2025. And so, yeah, you're right. You know, well, and you know, Jodi is coming up for an appeal, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
She's currently in
Brianna?
this appeal process. Yeah. And her attorneys are, I mean, very, very tight-lipped. They were not happy we were doing this project at all. And they don't want anything out there. And I think, you know,
interesting that Jodi Arias is another prisoner that thinks she's getting out.
And you never know. I mean, in the way that these trials go, and because that one was so complicated and there's so much to it.
That one was super complicated, and like even her lawyer isn't a lawyer anymore because he decided to write a book, and they took his bar association away, and he was like, I don't care. After this, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. And he just did his money grab.
I think people are a little worried that you don't know what they'll find. That could be on illegality, you know, things like that. And yeah, she is going forward with appeals, and I think she'll continue to do so.
John, what do you think, though, about that specific move of her? I can't believe that you said it'll be in your podcast, of her then saying, hey, donate money to survivors of domestic abuse. What a move at the end there.
It's despicable. It's manipulative. It's false. You know, there's not a shred of evidence that I'm aware of that shows that Travis was abusive to her in any way. If you're going to say you were abused, give me some evidence. Like, were there previous calls to police from her? Right? Why didn't she? People, again, they bring up the abuse was never reported. The murder wasn't reported. if she was being so brutally harmed or abused, you
All
would
right.
think so.
I'm going to stop it and say he's basically saying, where are the receipts? He's saying, he's saying, where are the receipts? So we got a dingo going this way. Dingo, dingo. I don't have a special effect, so I'll do this. Long quite. Dingo. I was afraid we weren't going to get dingo, at least one set of dingo.
Someone would know about it, a close friend of Travis, right? Nobody heard about any abuse in this relationship.
Never, not that I know of it. It didn't seem like Jodi kept a lot of girlfriends, at least none that came out of the woodwork. But no, I mean, not one person.
Jodi struck me as one of those women that say, I don't have girlfriends because I get along better with men. I am positive Jodi was one of those women.
To be able to point to any sort of, oh, she told me this. I mean, I think the only thing people could say was they had a volatile relationship. They had a toxic relationship. It was, you know, that kind of cat and mouse type situation, but abuse, not one person had evidence of that.
John, why is revenge, you sort of touch on it, but like go deeper. Why is revenge so addictive? Yeah, I didn't know that either, that revenge is that addictive to human beings.
My guess is, so I just started the book and I'm starting to dive into some of the research myself because it's going to have an impact on my work. So
another one I know revenge is addictive is over here. So here we go. Revenge is addictive. So we need, I can't believe they haven't said hidden gems. So we need a hidden gems here to get a dingo. We're confused, which, I mean, I could give that to him right now, but I'm waiting till the end because I'm sure we're going to just like label this as they're confused. But what else? And that's not how court works, or another lingo. Dingo. Tingo.
I want to know more about it, but there's some studies, like, you know, of the brain showing that the brain reacts to this desire for revenge in much the same way that it reacts to different addictions. And I presume it has something to, I presume it's part of its evolutionary, in the sense that when human beings were trying to survive many thousands of years ago, that there would have been some benefit to if
it's like she would have said it at the very beginning and I missed it. So you heard her say hidden gems? Okay, well, then that gives us dingo this way, long quine. And then I accidentally put hidden gems down here at the bottom. And it gives us dingo this way. This way. Long quine. I'll have it better next time. So here we go. We got dingo this way. Dingo this way. Dingo this way and this way. So lots of dingoes. Dingoes, bingos. $313 sub views count is way down on videos since her 9. Yeah, I've been looking at her views and they are way down. This one's higher because a lot of us have been watching it, but this one's still at only 18,000. So
if humans,
I mean, that's why they've got 2 ads in it, I guess, right?
Small tribes were being invaded by other groups, that it seems like there'd be some benefit to protecting the tribe and to maybe retaliating in some way. If it meant, right, if it's a choice of getting annihilated by another group, you're going to have to respond if you want to survive, right? So I think there's probably something very primitive and instinctive about revenge that's over time has probably been hardwired into us. And also just the idea of, even going back from an evolutionary standpoint, of if groups have certain hierarchies, right, and people in these hierarchies are leaders and they have big egos, right, but like part of leading a tribe might be having some narcissistic traits or features and having a big ego.
Update Sarah Boone, because I like Jumpsuit Pablo quite a bit, and I've seen quite a few people coming out with the prison audio phone calls. So we are going to do it, but yesterday was a kind of rough day for me, and I missed Florida Friday. I might do it sometime next week, or I might just wait till next Friday.
Ego, so that you could take risks and you can lead the group, right? And so
You're saying politicians and leaders might be narcissistic.
that could be an evolutionary vestige from the past that's we kind of deal with, unfortunately. A side effect. But my point is that given that type of scenario, challenges to those leaders are going to be frowned upon, and they're going to be seen as, to some degree, as maybe threatening the group, right? And so I think a natural response for people in power in these small groups would be revenge. That anybody that challenges these people with big egos, right? There seems like there'd probably be some desire to punish the people that are doing that challenging or trying to usurp their power. And so I think it's easy to imagine that over time, over the span of hundreds or thousands of years, that human beings really kind of develop this instinctive response to rejection and to be challenged and to ego, right? Challenges of our ego and our identities in some ways.
Yeah.
Is it the oh, go ahead, Brianna. Yeah.
No, I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah. Is the revenge part of this, if it was for revenge, is that the brutality of the crime? Because you could have gotten revenge and hurt him or killed him. I mean, that sounds bad. Like, you should never kill someone out of revenge, but like, this is so brutal.
Yeah.
Well, the rejection, think of it as Travis is the culmination of years and years of I would guess, years and years of kind of this stalking behavior. Maybe there's some other history of rejection where she's acting like this. At least we know this goes back to high school.
Yeah.
So
right.
think of Travis as like the culmination of that, because he's someone that she really feels close to. She feels very attached to him. She wants to marry him, right? Like, he becomes the culmination of all that. And so she's pinning all her hopes and dreams on this guy, and then he rejects her. You know, the natural response to that is rage. She's just enraged that he could do this. She's humiliated.
Totally.
And so I think you're right. Like, the nature of the crime obviously reflects that rage. And the goal ultimately, according to Malloy, with this linking fantasy, this narcissistic linking fantasy, the goal is to restore some semblance of normality. In other words, it's to try to put that fantasy back in place. And the way, and what that means here, I think, is that Jodi has this sense of entitlement, right? She has this sense that she possesses Travis to some degree. So the way she's trying to restore this fantasy by murdering him is to kind of reinstate or to feel that sense of entitlement again. If he's deceased, then she feels like, once again, like she possesses him. Like,
I wonder how much her story, I think she's going to probably get a retrial, because her trial was a freaking mess. But that's just my opinion. We can all agree. Nobody has to agree with me. I'm not here to change your mind. It's just like my uneducated legal opinion, right? So, but yeah, we can all agree to disagree here and still get along. But I chances are she 50-50 might get a new trial. Although I thought those brothers were going to get out on parole, but that didn't happen for them, the Menendez. So, but I still think they might like come. Are they allowed to come up for parole now, and they have to go before the board? And is that what they have to do now, or are they forever denied parole? But I don't know. Like, the world is changing so fast that I wouldn't be surprised.
She owes him, right? And here's an example. This was in the documentary. This is a quote by Jodi after the murder. She says, and this shows the fantasy I'm talking about. She says, quote, this is from one of her journals. Travis was by my bedside this morning. I feel his presence. He's dead. Right? Like,
that reminds me of Chris Watson saying that his daughters come and dance in his cell at night.
But she's saying that in the sense that she's telling us why she's doing it. That she feels like he's still around, meaning she's not going to get hurt by him anymore. She's restoring the sense of entitlement. And she's by this particular, I'm sure the journal's filled with stuff like this.
Yes.
Really? Because I feel like they're feeding his ego. They're trying to get him to talk because he's being a big crybaby poo-poo because everybody's been making fun of him. And I feel like they're trying to pull his words out of him. That's the impression I get.
She's showing us that she believes she still possesses Travis, even though he's deceased.
Wow. And she wasn't even dating him truly at the time either.
Right, exactly. That doesn't, but that kind of speaks to the whole idea, which was mentioned again in the documentary about, I think one of the friends said that her attitude was, if she can't have Travis, no one will. Yeah. It's the same type of, like, once she murders him and believes that she now possesses him because she's the one who did it, then it's kind of game over. There's no more competition, right? So, I mean, which again speaks to revenge. Part of revenge is trying to eliminate threats and competition.
Wow.
That's so interesting. And she's just, it's something I was thinking about when you were saying this too. You started to say entitlement. And then it reminded me of, Lauren, your questions with like the kind of craziness of this whole thing and like my takeaway. One thing that didn't make it in the documentary that I think goes right along with this, when I was going through and looking at old footage of anything, the way we did it was we went back in these like tape decks, and anything that was labeled Jodi or Travis, we went through it. And one of the things that happened back then in 2008 was they had Inmate Idol. I saw this name and I was like, what? And I mean, I kid you not, a full American.
We have Inmate Idol over here. Whoops. Let's see, where was Inmate Idol? There it is, down at the bottom. Another dingo. Long Kwong. There we go. We got dingo that way. Wow, we're doing better than I thought. So, yay!
Idol, Inmate Idol, the full American Idol competition in the Maricopa County jail system here. Joe Arpaio was sheriff at the time. He was the Simon Cowell. Then it was during Christmas. There was like a Christmas Elvis and Santa that were the judges. And literally inmates from all different backgrounds, all different charges, from murder to, whatever else, assault, were singing Christmas carols for Inmate Idol. And lo and behold, of course, Jodi right there singing Oh Holy Night. And she won. She won the competition. And I cannot believe that happened, but she seemed just so excited to be there to perform. You heard it in the documentary. She wanted Travis to see her sing. She wanted him to be proud of her. And this just seemed to continue on, this kind of entitlement.
We got another one. She wanted to hear Travis sing. Wanted Travis to hear her sing. But we didn't get a dingo. Now we need, well, you know what? They are confused. So here we go. We're confused. Another dingo. Dingo that way, dingo this way. We only have a few spots left. That's not how court works. I'm sure he probably said that already. But Lauren or Dr. John talks to Grayson off screen, and the Grayson version. We haven't heard either one of those yet.
Like, I'm gonna sing in front of people. I'm gonna win.
Come on, we're in the home stretch. Come on, Lauren Turd and Dr. John. Give it to us. Give us the dingo.
Even into her arrest in jail.
That's a great example of exactly what I've been talking about, right? Like the fact that she thinks, I mean, it brings up a lot of other issues. Like she's clearly like super attention seeking. But this idea that she's singing for Travis when he's deceased, I mean, yeah, that's the fantasy part. That's what's driving all of this. Like, it's the fantasy, even going back to high school, it's the fantasy of somehow reuniting with this guy that broke up with her, and now she's outside his window, right? Like, it's so in some fundamental ways, I think if you go back a little bit, and I appreciate the fact that your documentary picked up on these little pieces, because it's been a while since I've thought about Jodi Arias. I didn't really cover it very much.
Yeah,
I didn't really dive into it because it seemed a little over the top even for me back then. But
it was.
And I had other work. Like, we weren't doing a podcast back then. I had like work to go into prisons, and, talk to inmates that I was trying to, protect.
Doesn't he hate when everybody interrupts because he's about to give his best answer ever?
Protect the community from some of these people. So, your documentary did a beautiful job of pulling out those little strands, those little threads that help make sense of Jodi and why this occurred.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to knowing there's going to be more on the podcast as well.
Quite a bit more. Yeah.
We'll make sure to have links to the documentary as well as your bonus podcast link.
And what we'll do is we'll air ours during yours. Won't that be fun?
in the description of this episode. But wow.
Wowie wow. Oh,
This podcast is
they did 3? Are you kidding? That's crazy. They eked one more in before they got done.
If Simon Cowell was involved, is there any footage of the inmate idol?
Oh, holy night, the stars are bright.
That was a weird cut.
Shine.
I'm going to move us forward because I showed you her singing this already.
Stunning to me. So yes, there is footage. I can send it to you.
I want it. Yes, I'd love that footage. Actually, please do. Wow. What did you learn? So what was your you delved into Jodi Arias. Of course,
you took my words. Wowie wow. Indeed.
Knew about her, as you pointed out. You were older when the trial happened. You were starting to listen to true crime, delve into true crime. Now you're a true crime correspondent. Look at you now. What would you tell your younger self?
That was professional editing. I think that was worse editing than I managed to do.
Watching the Jodi Arias trial. But what's your biggest takeaway delving into this in 2025? Any changes to your thoughts on this case? Anything you learned?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time when back then, even in 2013, I saw it for a high profile trial and kind of thought that was the norm for the way that things were broadcast. I think now I learned just how much an obsession with something can change the trajectory of it. And in this case, not only Jodi, but even really just the fanfare around it. I think it kind of goes to show that I don't think Jodi is stupid at all. I think she's actually very smart. And I think the way that she was able to manipulate people and kind of put on this like good girl type act worked. And I think it worked on a lot of people, including maybe even her defense team, other people who were interested in her as a person. And I think that goes to show just how powerful the tactic of manipulation can be. And I think listening to a lot of the people talk about this case, even like, I first really liked her, or I first thought this, and then it all changed. I feel like though she had some success in terms of the endearing nature that she was able to portray onto people that were still sucked in. Whether they liked her or not, they were sucked in. And I think it just goes to show how powerful that can be for people who are not even involved in the case, but were so obsessed with it too, just because of the way that she was. I think the way that she was made this the case that it was. And to me, that was very interesting and stunning to see.
Yeah. And it brings a double meaning to the title of your documentary, Obsessed, Unraveling Jodi Arias. She was obsessed with Travis Alexander.
And this is the docu-series that they are talking about. Let's take a quick look at it. Let's look at the beginning of it. And then I want to go over and watch a few new things that I have found, and also talk a little bit more on the Turtle Boy interview tonight with Krusha.
Second. I just checked my work phone and I had an email that came in from the prison. It says, "You have received a new message. The prisoner is Jodi Arias." I'm nervous. You do this whole documentary and all I want to know is more about Jodi. And
Jodi's locked in. Don't roll the tape in.
I didn't think she was going to respond. Here we go. All right.
I don't want to get copyright struck for her music. So this is the intro, the Book of Mormon. It's just so fascinating that this is another Mormon story that they're covering. Unraveling Jodi Arias, Obsessed.
We went to the same church in Riverside, and I met him there. Travis was extremely outgoing, and he would welcome everybody at church. He would talk to everybody. He was hilarious. I started dating his friend Chris, and because Travis talked me into it, and we ended up getting married, and Chris and Travis worked together, and we just became close through that.
We both worked for a company called Legal Shield. And
I remember overseeing these friends and interviews. So,
and independent contractors, so we pretty much were our own bosses. The first time I met him was he came to Utah and did a presentation, and he was just funny. Most of the time it was,
is this new interviews? I think it is new interviews. Oh, interesting. So we're not going to play this, but if you want to watch it, I will have it linked in the show notes. It looks like it's actually pretty good. So let me come over into chat, and then I will show you the Turtle Boy stuff, and we'll talk Crusha. And yeah. So is Ruby, but there's something about Jodi. They're both, yeah, but there is something about Jodi that's. Ugh. I just trust my own math calculations more than anyone else's, and that's, no one else has to do. I just think last year they made at most 500,000. I don't know. I think it's higher than that, but I don't know. I've never been in the top earning of the YouTube ladder yet. I plan on it, but not yet. Jodi Hildebrandt still takes, Jodi is the scariest of, I can't think of as well. I mean, I'm sure I could, if I looked there, I could find a scarier one. But yeah. I noticed this float by, and Kim said, need gift ideas or don't know what you want, browse our merch line. We do have a merch line that we've done with a independent artist and Dreamland Art. And so if you are interested, in a Christmas gifty this year, we do have our merch line, and I have a few specials that I wanted to tell you about. Our Dreamland Art collab dropped about a month ago, and it's bold, weird, gorgeous, and straight out of the Power universe. And this is the link, and I will put the link down in the show notes, and the link that Kim gave you will work too. I have a special. We have free shipping on orders $75 and more. So if you spend up to $75, you'll get free shipping. And the Dragonflies, which is our membership program over on YouTube, get an extra 10% off. And I have the code over in our community tab. So if you're a Dragonfly and you head over to the community tab, you will see a post just for you that tells you what code you need to put in there. So grab it, rock it, and be sure to show us if you decide to. And this is just a little example of some of our stuff. We have hats, hoodies, tees, mugs, totes. So yeah, just wanted to show you that, and be sure to check it out. And again, I would love to see photos of you. Well, the only way I can avoid not getting struck is if Lauren doesn't play dirty, because everything I've done is fair here. So that's the only way. She could try to strike me and I would have to fight it, and it would probably go away for 2 weeks and then it would come back. So let's hope that she's not playing that game, because that can get you kicked off of YouTube real fast. Yeah, Patreon is their bread and butter. I just don't have the capacity to do both, all to include Patreon right now. Maybe one day if I have some help, but my hat's off to the people that can do it all, like can be on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, and they have merch, and they have Patreon, and they do meetups, and it's just like, wow. But my brain is healing quite a bit from the stroke I had, just like listening to myself from 2 years ago. So maybe one day. I know that it's important to me to give back, and so since we started the channel, we've always had something that we've given back to. At first, it was a baby elephant that was struck by a train over in India. And it couldn't walk. They were giving it treatments to get it back on its feet. And the mom was killed, but the baby lived, and it's back on its feet. It's named Baby Banny. We were buying bottles for the baby. And now we support Sitting with Dogs, Rocky Kanaka. So when I am making more, I will be able to give more. So it's always important to me to give back. But I think that's the way you get, is to give. So, all right. So anyway, you guys, please consider supporting. And if you would like some merch, just know that we've got that discount, 10% off for our Dragonflies and free shipping for $75. And here is the link if you're interested. Dreamland Merch is a young mom. She's an artist. I met her over on TikTok. I met her through the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. And a percentage of it goes to the artist as well. So. All right, let's get going. I want to take us over to Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy is reportedly doing a video live tonight with Krusha, and I did see, where is that? I did see, hold on, let me find it. There it is. I did see that he did a video today about it, and it says, to Lauren, hidden true crime because she's out of control. She's out of control. I saw this over on Reddit. Shots fired. She's out of control. This was 16 hours ago. To Lauren, hidden true crime because she's out of control. Snippet of transcripts from the morning Turtle Boy bus stop live. Let me make sure that's up on the screen. Okay, it is. Snippet of transcripts from the morning TV bus stop live, 11/21/25. Krusha on tomorrow night. We're going to talk about what she's been through with Lauren, hidden true crime. We've got more coming. Definitely going to dedicate tomorrow's show back to Lauren, hidden true crime, because she's out of control. She's out of control, and now she needs to be destroyed now. This is Turtle Boy's transcript from this morning. So these are his words. She's going to get a civil stalking injunction. I don't mean like destroyed, like incinerated. I mean like reputationally destroyed, like she needs, like she deserves it. She has destroyed her own reputation, and I'm not going to destroy it. I'm not going to highlight things that and I'm not going to destroy it. I'm not going to highlight things that she's done and allow her to destroy herself, because she deserves it. She's not a nice person. I think he means he's going to use her own words to destroy herself. Her old kiss ass to me on that response, like, Turtle Boy, great work in the Karen Reed case. Oh, thanks, but that ain't going to work on me. You know what I mean? You suck. She could stop at any time. Tell your fat, disgusting slob of a beta male husband, to cut the SHIT. I mean, he's the problem. He's egging this SHIT on when he goes home. Listen, honey, now here's the thing. Let me read 5 books to you. Then she's like, oh, I love when you read that effing psychology books to me, Dr. John. So that's what Turtle Boy is saying. I'd never heard of Turtle Boy until Lauren and John. Lauren and John are opening my eyes up to a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff. And this is Krusha. Krusha is Kay's daughter. Lauren has bashed her repeatedly, never really liked Krusha, and now is going after her for using content that is of her family, but she took it from Lauren's page. So she is going after Kresha, the victim, JJ's aunt. Just horrible. Horrible. I hope you had fun playing Lingo or Dingo. Oh my gosh. I'm a big dingbat. Dingo with us. I will get it down pat next time, I promise. It might even change to Tingo. I don't know. I'm going to have you guys vote on it. Yes, this is what angers me the most, actually. Well, now a lot of it angers me the most, but the fact that they're going after this victim's family is disgusting after they made tons of money off of her family's back. People either get him or don't. He doesn't bother me. I mean, and the fact that he is fighting his way through the Karen Reed court system, I mean, I would be shaking in my boots if I was hidden true crime. I would be seriously trying to make nicey because yikes. As soon as I can land on the time for you guys, I will put it over in my PWR Network community tab section. I like to talk to you guys over there. I do like at least a post a day, sometimes more. We play a little trivia game called Power Brain. I like to have you vote on things. I always announce my lives, usually like an hour before I go live, so I can give you a little heads up. If something new pops off in a case, I'll shoot it up there. So I hope that you guys will check out my community section because I do like to. Oh, it's 9:30 Eastern time. Okay. But is it up there yet? Have they created the live? Let's listen to the bus stop. Or a portion of it.
To the left. Like it's months of this shit. Months. Like there's no it's supposed to be like high 40s later. I guess we're supposed to be excited about that, but it's like it's months of this crap. Months and months and months. December, January, February.
I will put the links to everything in the YouTube show notes. We're going to move it forward.
By the government and people who blow the whistle on them like me and ask them questions and probe and push and demand answers and fight for justice.
Okay, so it looks like in what we were watching, he was talking about Lauren at 21 minutes. So let me get up to 20 minutes and see what we get.
Okay, we're gonna have this person on and interview them.
Looks like let's get back. Looks like he's about to talk about it.
But you get arraigned first in New Jersey. And unsee it. I can't unsee it, you know? Let's see. You can talk about anything that's training. Well, thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. That's one thing I'm starting to realize. I'm like, I don't even need to plan a show. I can just come on and riff. I had no plan last night. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? All right, well, let's see. Plevin was on Court TV. I can make some content out of that. I can go with that for a bit. And so I was going to do that. And then I'm like, wait, then I started talking about BLT. Next thing you know, I'm 45 minutes into sex cult, you know? Yeah, Grant has lately been trying to hang out with us in the Krusty Panty hearings. I will talk to him. His brain cells fast. I mean, Grant is what he is. You know, he unblocked me. He's going to be full free Karen Reed in like 5 minutes. It's like guaranteed. I know. I thought I didn't add that to the video. It's like you need to move to Turtle Lane in Sterling. There's a bunch of nice condos there. I saw that. I saw there's an opening up, but that's up near like Lancaster. It's kind of the other end of Sterling. I want to be towards the Holden end if I want to move to Sterling. Sterling's great. If you guys have never been in town of Sterling, it's got 2 highway exits off of 190. It's very accessible. I like Sterling. It's just a smaller town, so there's less homes available. And it's in the Wachusett Regional School District, so Recap the New Jersey court case from Wednesday, please. Nothing to recap before a prosecutor ever even looks at it. Okay. Where is last night's show? It's right on tvdailynews.com, right on my website. That's what I did last night. Exactly. And that's why people like Will. People just like shows that they can just sit down and be like, about today, you know? Like, we don't want structure. We don't add much to it. It's like people don't want that. I don't know. Yeah, how the fuck are Beto and Bradle supposed to prepare for the 12-5 here? Is one last day of prep for us.
Oh my gosh, where is it?
Machado faced when BLT was fake crime. Tomorrow show back to Lauren Hidden True Crime because she's out of control. She's out of control, and now she just needs to be destroyed. Now she's gonna get a civil stalking injunction. I don't mean like destroyed, like incinerated. I mean like reputationally destroyed. Like she deserves it. Like she has destroyed her own reputation, and I'm not going to destroy it. I'm just going to highlight things that she's done and allow her to destroy herself because she deserves it. She's not a nice person. Her old kissing ass to me on that response, like, Turtle Boy, great work in the Canary case. Oh, thanks, bitch, but that ain't gonna work on me. You know what I mean? You suck. She could stop at any time. Tell your fat, disgusting slob of a beta male husband, you know, to cut the shit. I mean, he's the problem. He's egging the shit on when he goes home. Listen, honey, no, here's the thing. Let me read 5 books from you. And she's like, oh, I love when you read from fucking psychology books from me, Dr. John. Oh, gets me so moist, John. Oh, you know.
Yeah, I'm not really offended by any words these days. I do try to.
Excited utterance has good coverage. This other chick, what the hell is she's got?
I try not to say too much because I know words do offend some people. But when I get swearing, it's hard to stop.
200,000 subs. She did a thing on her the other day.
He's talking about CC.
And posted. Will's texting. What's he saying? You see this?
Excuse me.
What does this say?
I don't know. I can't see it.
Imagine. Okay, it's retarded. Just more nonsense.
A dingo ate my baby.
All right. Anyway.
Okay, but I still don't see a thumbnail for tonight's live. So I've heard 9 and 9:30, but once I can confirm the time, if I can, well, I can. I'll probably, well, once I can confirm it, I will put it there for you guys. Because I don't see a post. I mean, unless he has another place where he puts things up, but that's all I see. Oh, thank you. Bless you back. No, I know. I'm a sneezy girl. I'm someone who sneezes a lot. My mom and grandma used to sneeze, and I remember it used to annoy me. They weren't just a single sneezer. It was always like multiple and triple sneezer. So, and the older I get, I've become that. I'm a sneezer. So, but it usually means I'm getting a flare up, and I hope that's not what it means. I hope it's just like allergies or something. I didn't see the statement. Kim, thank you so much for being my lady in blue. I really do appreciate everything that you do for me. I can't wait for the Turtle Boy chat, the thing tonight too. It's going to be really interesting, and I will make a huge effort to stay up tonight and watch it with you guys. So count me in. I plan on being down in the chat, hanging out. Probably is going to be flying the chat, and then they'll have to you know what, this is what I do. I'm gearing up. It's going to be flying, and then they're going to have to slow it down, and it'll be annoying because we won't be able to talk. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm having a spicy day. I got to stop fighting with AI. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a spicy girl. I can't help myself. I love Turtle Boy. You like him too? Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I mean, I can see how he could be. He's just, like somebody said, he reminds me of the Burnt Toast channel. And sometimes, you know, it's just fun not having to be PC. You don't see Hidden True Crime talking about me. Well, I didn't do a 9.5-hour live and call somebody, an innocent person, a stalker over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then follow it up with 3.5 hours and then do a Patreon and then come back and try to say, well, we're over it and act like we're beyond this, you know, we're moving on. Well, sorry, I haven't moved on. So I do see them talking about they said something about Turtle Boy, and Turtle Boy noticed, and he's like, not going to work with me, friends. So it's amazing to me that they still have people coming around trying to defend them. Like, amazing. Grayson, is that you? Grayson, knock twice if you're in trouble. Turtle Boy won't do anything to upset Crusha. He's not an idiot. Oh, no, I don't think he'll be offensive to Crusha. No, I hope not. I don't know him that well, but I hope not. I feel like we've got to protect Crusha. I feel it like broke my heart when I heard Crusha say that she had to pay Lauren just to be heard. I mean, that's heartbreaking. I'm never going to forget that. Oh, she probably is in here. Maybe she's the one that's been, well, anyway, they've got their stands in my comments. I'm mean. I'm a big old meanie because I get what they get. I give back what they're trying to give me. You know, they're trying to shame me, and I laugh or I shame them back, and that makes me mean. Mean. They're not used to getting their own medicine, so then I become mean. Yeah, well, I'm a Gen Xer. I'm snarky and sometimes mean. People don't like getting what they give, and they don't see it. And the Hidden True Crime trio, they don't see that they're getting what they gave. So, okay, guys, I am rambling on. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. I'm gonna head out. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Kim, for being here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rail77 for your super sticker. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Consider the merch that I showed if you're interested. This is Dreamland Art, and she drew this for me. I told her I wanted a radio tower with the eye opening up, like on your eye in the sky. And I really like the merch. I'm ordering some for myself, and I'm going to order a few that I can give out to the Power Crew over the holidays. We do it 25 days of Christmas. Over here, we do a live miss. 25 days leading up to Christmas, we do a live a day. So we'll have some stuff that we will be giving out. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my Dragonflies, to the Power Replay crew. You know I love you. And if nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I don't care. You've made a huge, huge difference in my life. I love you guys so, so much. And I'm going to see you probably tonight. Bye, guys.
Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out.
With you tonight, and it feels fine. Feels fine. Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight. Here in the blue, I'm dancing and falling out, hoping for some time with you.